Good afternoon. We're going to try to reconcile two separate data points that seem to be in contradiction. FDI is foreign direct investment. FDI is how much money is being invested by foreign companies into another country. These headlines here explain that FDI into China is hitting multi-decade lows, falling to almost zero, basically. A lot of this is being driven by de-risking or friendshoring. Foreign governments are strongly pushing for that capital investment to go instead either to domestic markets or to friendly or nearby countries. So reshoring is bringing the factories back to the US in America's case. Friendshoring is to a more friendly country. Nearshoring is to a nearby country, like Mexico, again in America's case. And companies seem to be doing exactly that. Here is a chart that shows FDI, inbound foreign direct investment to China. But here's another chart which squares with a lot of other headlines we've got recently. It's how exports from China are booming, are stronger than ever. China's exports are growing much faster than exports from the rest of the world. Japan is actually negative compared to 2 years ago, despite friendshoring, despite the high tariffs on Chinese products, and despite Japan's devaluation of the yen, the Japanese currency. All of those things have helped Japan, definitely. Without them, they would probably be at minus 25 instead of off 2.6. Developing Asia, that's India and Vietnam and other places, which we're told are snapping up factory orders that used to go to China. But they're down too, especially compared to late 2022 when they were at +5. So we do have this strange situation where friendshoring and nearshoring and reshoring, change in FDI would lead you to think that after a couple of years of that, orders from Chinese factories would be falling, would be going to elsewhere. Chinese tariffs are at 25% or more. New trade restrictions come almost every week, and even the foreign companies are saying, we're not investing in China anymore. But on the other hand, Chinese exports are surging anyway. In the US, we're flying cabinet secretaries over to Beijing to warn the Chinese to stop exporting so much. And now, whenever China's president takes a plane ride, foreign presidents are begging him to turn off his factories. Foreign direct investment. The biggest companies in the world are still investing here, and more than ever. Tesla, Volkswagen, Airbus, Coca-Cola, McDonald's, Nike. The biggest multinationals are still pouring money in. The manufacturing companies need Chinese engineers and factories, and they also need China's consumer market too. But what about the smaller companies? What about companies like mine, small ones? We don't have to do that. We don't need to hire hundreds of Chinese employees and staff or engineers. We don't need to open stores here in the Chinese market. But what we do need is to be here. Just a small handful of people is all we need to visit factories, to place orders, to make sure everything is packed right and on time. Japan and India and Vietnam, these are not options for us because they don't have the factories that build the stuff we need. These charts show what hundreds of thousands of companies around the world are doing with their money. Buying more and more from China, selling more and more to customers everywhere else. But there's no need to even invest any money here to do it. You just need a telephone. Small and medium companies are buying a lot more from China, but don't have to invest capital to do so. Harbin, Heilongjiang province. Be good.